I don't know. That's a great question.
A concrete space?
So I think if I had to give it a space, it would be like a labyrinth.
It would be a planetarium because you can basically see everything.
Be graffiti. It'd just be, just complete trash.
And I don't want to ascribe to it a concrete place.
The web as a concrete space is like a library.
It's also the telephone system, the way we interact with people.
I think a better analogy would be the most expansive city.
An ever-expanding building.
I guess I would think of a great big building, but I've been telling myself that I have to quit thinking of it in terms of things I'm familiar with.
That would never be finished. It would always be under construction, and there would be multiple like hallways.
I think it'd be a giant room of people talking at the same time.
I would definitely think it was a book that kind of just was around for people to use, for people to put what they wanted onto it.
Okay, well, I'll be super dorky then instead. It's kind of like sedimentary rock.
To me, the internet kind of feels like that one episode of The Fairly Odd Parents.
Be in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
We have an inside joke of The Office, and it's like a house at the bottom of the ocean. It's a cart that's like being pulled by a horse around the house.
If the web was a physical space, it would definitely be a coffee shop.
I think that it would kind of be exactly what it is, of these invisible lines that we don't entirely see.
Because it feels as though we're knocking down the web in order to build a parking lot, or, well, that's Joni Mitchell song.
I think it is currently in transition in terms of what it is, and I'll go with what Mike Caulfield says, is that there's two versions of the internet. There's two versions of the web, the garden and the stream.
I'm imagining, that Dwight is managing it in that office building or something. So I see it in Scranton in an office complex, some kind of industrial office complex.
Like sort of like Matrix looking.
Vast, infinite, bottomless.
A few stories above ground, and then there would be a lot of stories below ground.
And you would just see all the connections that people have and how they're linked.
For people to use it to express themselves.
It's just a lot of noise, and that's awesome.
We all bring something different there.
Different sections, and you can walk to different places, but they're all sort of, it's like a little ecosystem, right?
A lot of wonderful tall skyscrapers and sights that you can see. At the same time, there are those dark alleys you need to stay away from.
There'd be like black holes, so you can completely fall off into a totally different kind of space that maybe you weren't expecting.
The majority of the internet is just garbage, and if we weren't able to sift through that and find what we want,
And part of the challenge is knowing the difference between, gold and fool's gold.
What we had was, a really interesting, provocative space for sharing ideas, and instead increasingly we're taking apart that space in order to build these silos like Facebook.
Now it's just everything's kind of nice and kind of stable and kind of normal, and I don't know, it's just we have to get back to some of the chaos, I think.